All right, guys, get excited. You better be sitting down for this one. We have a high energy real estate investor on the call today. We're going to be talking about mobile home investing, big cash flow. We got Max Money in the house. You guys know him as Max Keller out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Done a lot in the business. Single family house flipper, done over 100 house flips now. He's also transitioning into a passive income mindset, and he's created courses on mobile home investing, which are helping agents all across North America, or investors all across North America, let me say. And we're going to talk about mobile home cash flow today with Max Money. Let's do it. Max, how you doing? Welcome to the call.
Oh, hey, man. Good to be here. Woo! Let's go. We won't say what day it is because we don't know when, but we're all live and we're excited because every day's a blessing. Am I right?
It is right. So I think they're used to me talking quickly, high energy, but I think they're going to have a handful with you on the call today, guys. So I've known Max for a number of years, very, very successful real estate professional out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So Max, I know you went to UT, you got yourself a business degree, you were a teacher. Let's kind of talk about your transition from the old school Max into Max Money and why you're doing so well in the business.
Yeah, reading. That's the end of the show, folks. I mean, you got to read. You know, Connor, it's real simple. Figure out where you are now, figure out where you want to be. And if it's in the same place, great. Don't change a thing. But, you know, for me, it was really weird. I was very happy. I did business jobs when I got out of college. This kind of corporate thing wasn't for me. There wasn't really a lot of creativity. When I worked as a teacher, it was awesome because we had new students all the time. It was a lot of motivation. I worked at an inner city school, so it felt really good to help the kids. I got a lot of good feedback. So it wasn't just the paycheck, you know, and everybody's different. But that was like awesome for me. I had no intentions of leaving teaching ever. It was great, but I wanted to make more money. I had a growing family. The teacher pay for what the teachers are bringing to the table is low, you know, because there's very qualified people who could take their skills to a lot of other places and make an easy 20, 30 grand more like automatic. And it's like, you know, if these parents are working 24/7 and the teachers are pretty much like helping raise the kids in a lot of ways, don't you want to incentivize like the right, good, you know, the best people possible? It just wasn't the right environment to make more money. So I started learning about real estate. I guess it was about 4 years ago, actually this summer. I don't know, it might've been 5. The years are all it's kind of flown by. I'm sure you can relate to that too. But I started a little bit, maybe a year after you did, you know, and learned, got a local mentor, and then did my first wholesale deal, did really well on that one. Then started getting into fix and flip, joined masterminds. And then, you know, at this point now in my career, I'm doing a lot of things. I still flip houses. I've transitioned away from the single family into mobile homes. I'll tell you why here, if crucial information on that and ways that you can get more after we're done. But, you know, basically there's going to be some pivots in your life. You know, it's not all going to be 100% predictable according to your plan. You know, Jeff Bezos says, don't focus on what is going to change in the next 10 years because, you know, we don't know. 10 years, a lot changes, you know, but what is not going to change? And the demand for, you know, people to do real estate investing, it's going to change, but there's still going to be opportunities there. So it's a good thing to invest in and learn. And then for me personally, you know, later on, I'll kind of share with you why I went from doing single family homes, you know, over 100, making great money on them. And now in the last year, I've really converted and been a mental convert and just business convert into mobile homes. They are the best kept secret in real estate investing by far, you know, half the price, double the cash flow. And so that's where I'm at. You know, we're doing that. We're helping people figure out how to do it. We're producing a lot of content, but mobile homes are unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Let's dig into that, but let's talk about that real quick. You know, you bring up reading. That's very, very important. I
Yeah.
think a lot of young entrepreneurs don't understand the self-development side, and people talk about this all the time and they roll their eyes. You guys, you got to understand what you're doing. You're building skill sets to identify and capture the opportunity when it shows up. Because what most people do is when those opportunities show up, for one, they don't even understand how to identify a real opportunity because they've never seen one, nor do they need to capitalize on it. So by working on yourself and building the skill sets, you're preparing yourself and positioning yourself that when the opportunity does come, you seize the moment, capitalize on it, which is what Max did. He jumped in there, started taking over, flipping a bunch of houses. Let's talk about the headaches with flipping houses. Even though you made a lot of money,
Right.
you didn't have a lot of time, and there's a lot of stress going on with it. So let's talk about it because you have flipped over 100 houses. That's an accomplishment. Congratulations on that.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Talk about some of the things that you've learned in the business, hopefully things that you can share to the audience to avoid some of the biggest mistakes you see people making getting into the flipping arena.
Yeah, avoid flipping single family homes. It's terrible. You know, I mean, if you've never done a mobile home and you're doing single family, I could have avoided so much trauma to my brain. It's unbelievable. So sure, can you make money doing single family residential flips? Sure. Yeah, you can make money doing it. I made great money. We sold one today and I made great money. You know, I'm not one of these people that shows you the HUD and the check, but you know, we closed one today in a city that just beat our brains in with code enforcement stuff. And we bought it in October. We thought we were going to make like 50. We ended up making about half of that. It took twice as long. We had to bring in engineers. We had to reroute sewer pipes. It was an absolute nightmare. The code people were just not being reasonable at all. And so here's what happened with me, Connor, is I was doing this. And then I was in like 3 masterminds. And one of the guys in my mastermind, Glenn Stromberg, was all in mobile homes. He had done it for like 35 years, thousands of deals, owned mobile home parks, on and on and on. Just he'd done it all. And every time he'd be at the mastermind, he'd stand up there and tell people about mobile homes. And everybody's like, wow, yeah, that's really cool. I want to do that. And then they just go home and go back to doing what they were always doing. And what happened was we actually live in the same city. You know, we all live in the same city, right? So we're in Fort Worth. And so I started sending him deals because I was doing a lot of direct mail at the time, another total craziness. So I'm sending out like $100,000 plus in direct mail, and I'm getting mobile home leads. And I don't really know what to do with them. I mean, I hear they're good from him, but it just seems like an enigma. And, you know, that's like where the tumbleweeds are. And those are, you know, tin cans with, you know, tires on the roof and all this crazy stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll let him do it. So I'd be sending him these leads. And then I'd follow up and I'd be like, hey, Glenn, how'd that one turn out? How'd that one turn out? He's like, good. You know, we bought this one. We did this. We made this much money. It took like 30 days. And I was like, what? And so as I started learning, that's the power of knowledge, is you start figuring out the path. You start identifying the opportunities. If I hadn't gotten into real estate, then I wouldn't have been able to meet Glenn. If I hadn't been successful at single family properties and getting the marketing, I wouldn't have been able to send him the leads. And then I just kept being more and more curious. He started doing a little bit of direct contact stuff, and he knew that I was good at that. So he brought me onto his company to help him with that, and just kind of like, you know, I have a consulting company too. So, you know, a second set of eyes on some of their marketing stuff. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like this is unbelievable. Like, do you know what you have here? And he was like, yeah, no, like I tell everybody, like if you meet Glenn, he's like the most down to earth, normal, cool guy. He's so humble. And I mean, he's just like done everything. And I'm like, you know, there's not that many people like you. You know, I want to learn how to do this. So he started showing me mobile homes. I started going over to his office. I started doing some of these on my own, and they were way better. And I was like, you know, every piece of single family, like the struggles, think of like single family, you know, people want to like always think about the good stuff. You know, they want to think about the stuff that's so amazing, but what are the risks? What are the hurdles? And it's like every hurdle that I was experiencing in single family residential, like it wasn't there in mobile homes, like all of them. Like we'll talk about a few on this call. And I was like, this got to be too good to be true. And it just kept getting better. I got checks. He was, you know, growing and everything was good. And I just said, well, why are you, you know, you're not getting any younger. And he's like, I go, what are you going to do with all this knowledge? You know, like there's not that many people who have this much expertise. And he taught me a lot really fast because I already had a pretty good base. So it was pretty easy to transition over from single family. And so that's it. We just started, we created our company, mobilevested.com. And we're launching in August, and it's a beautiful thing, and people can engage with us and see what we're doing. But we're teaching new people how to get started, I think, in the best opportunity from the very beginning. Existing people who maybe are getting squeezed hard, getting squeezed by the permit people, getting squeezed by the competition, getting squeezed by contractors, everything, prices, you know, transitioning their work over to the mobile home side because the opportunities are huge. Can't even tell you all of it, but we're going to try to get to as much as we can.
Right. So it's important. I mean, we just talked about this, being able to seize the moment and identify the opportunity when it pops up. Most people just like what Glenn's talking about, it just goes right by people. They're like standing at the riverbank. They're seeing this opportunity coming down the river. They're like, oh, there it is. And it goes right by and they don't do anything with it. Some people jump out there, swim out to the boat and hop on.
That was me.
And that's what you're doing. So, you know, right. Once you're following the traditional path that a lot of investors go through, jump in, high active income, trading time for checks, make a bunch of money, and then they say, I'm after the golden goose. I'm going after passive income. And so mobile homes are one of the best ways to achieve your cash flow goals early on, and partly because there's low risk, low barrier entry as far as capital being needed to be raised. You can get these for 2025. So let's kind of start from the beginning.
Okay.
Looking for mobile homes. Where are we going to look? Inside the major city, or are you going to get outside the secondary, tertiary markets? Where should people start looking for these mobile homes?
Yeah, so there's huge misconceptions on mobile homes. I think it's the most misunderstood real estate asset class there is. One thing that we need to talk about is the asset class has a total market cap of almost $1 billion. So just to put that in the perspective, if you add up all the value of all the single family homes in the whole nation, it's about $5 billion. That's the total market cap. So it's like, it is a smaller niche, but it's not that small. According to US Census, there's about 10 million mobile homes, combination of personal property and real property. If somebody's looking, somebody needs to get educated, because it's just like everything else. You can't just like start doing it, because there are nuances. I mean, you have to know what you're doing. The biggest things you have to know, I'll break it down for your audience here. So you have to know what age. You have to understand the exit strategies, because they're different for the different areas. Obviously, you need to know how private money works, because there's less bank financing, which is actually an opportunity, not a bad thing. Otherwise everybody and their brother would be doing this. And then, yeah, location for sure. That's huge. I mean, there are so many, but to answer your singular question, what areas? They're everywhere. If you're personal property, more of those are in like city limits. But the misconception on mobile homes is they're out 5 hours from the nearest truck stop, where there's a bunch of tumbleweeds with lousy schools and they blow over in tornadoes. That's crap. Right. They don't know what they're talking about. So we have properties that are in cities. Those are normally personal property, but there is mobile home subdivisions in city limits. You can buy those. Those are real property, mobile homes on land. The land and the actual structure are tied together, deed of trust or a mortgage. That's what we're talking about. So those properties, real estate, okay? They have them in the city. They have them in the suburbs, the surrounding areas. You don't have to go 100 miles away. Everything that we're doing is within 45 minutes to 60 minutes within like a job center. And we found that people are willing to pay a lot less for a lot bigger house and a lot more space and a lot more quality of life with a short commute. So around the areas, tertiary for your vocab quiz. I mean, that's a big word, Connor. Bam. I've been reading books too.
You're a teacher, guys. So let's talk about this here real quick. You brought up real versus personal. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can avoid the mistake I made. So a lot of people know one of my very first deals I ever did, I found out the hard way the difference between real and personal property. And I bought the land. I didn't buy the mobile home.
Ouch.
It became a big headache for me. So let's kind of break this down, because this is very, very important. So I want to talk about real versus personal property.
Okay.
I want to talk about investing in a park versus outside the park on land, the differences in the risks between the two of those. And then some of the ways that you find these deals, how you fund them, and then exit strategies. That's kind of how we're going to work through this. So
we're ready. I'm ready, man. We're going to pack it in. If you guys are listening, stop the car, take notes, watch this like 10 times. This is an opportunity. If you're new and you don't know how to identify opportunities here, let me shake the screen. This is one of them, and it's not a South California earthquake. Like, this is it, guys. So yeah, let's hit it.
All right, let's do it. Let's break down the difference between real and personal property for them, and how to identify this and make sure that they can get purchase it as real property.
Okay, so you can ask the people that you're buying it from which one it is, but basically any mobile home and manufactured home, we're using those interchangeably, so we're just going to say mobile. So any mobile home you can tie a mobile home to the land together. The title company does this. It's real property or real estate. Okay. If they're separate, which there's a lot of reasons why they would be, it's just, there's really a couple. One, the person owns the land and the mobile home on top, but they're choosing not to tie them together. Okay. If it's like family land, sometimes people put a mobile home on the family land. They consider the mobile home personal property. So if they ever foreclose or default on it, the company can take the mobile home, but they can't take the family land. That's actually one of the reasons why people do that. Another one is because they don't own the land. So they have their mobile home that they're buying or they're renting, and it's on somebody else's land. So personal property is normally like, we're talking about like your mobile home parks. And then real property is 1 acre lots, either on their own or subdivisions. They can be a little smaller, a little bigger, but these are like regular, where we're buying homes and we're buying like 10 plus a month. In 5 states, we just added another one. But where we're buying these mobile homes is, and a lot of them are in subdivisions. So it's not like you're the only house. It's just a regular subdivision. They take 60 acres, they turn it into about 45 lots, and there's 45 mobile homes there that, were either new or in the past. They're real property. They're tied together, and people are buying them with FHA financing. There's a foundation. They're bolted to the concrete foundation. They're not going anywhere. Misconception. We blow those out of the water. We have the pictures. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. The differences with personal, they're both good. They just have a little bit different strategies. I would say personal is probably maybe a little trickier but then there's some benefits, like it's cheaper because you can get them a lot cheaper, but usually somebody else owns the land, like in the parks. I mean, on and on. Dude, I can't even tell you everything I want, but they're both good. I would just try to focus on real when you get started. That's what we teach people how to do most of the time.
Okay, great. Yes, like guys, the easiest way, I guess, to understand it is real property is immovable and personal property is movable. So if you want to look at kind of the difference between the park, investing in a park versus outside a park, first of all, guys, you got to realize mobile homes are not what they used to be. They're not these raggedy properties. They're being built with hardwood floors and granite. These are nice properties that they're building now at affordable price. Now, there are some headaches buying properties inside of a park because the landowner owns the land underneath, and each individual has the ability to run and operate their business as they choose. And some parks don't allow you to rent the property. Some parks don't allow you to own or finance in the property. Some parks make it a requirement for you to have everybody that's either going to rent or buy your property go through the front desk. And a lot of times you lose your clients because they go and push their own product off on other inventory inside the park that they own.
Right.
So kind of what are some of so you're primarily focused on land though, right?
Yes.
Do you do anything in the parks, or why are you avoiding them? And if you do, why are you doing it inside the park, and what is your strategy inside it?
No, we don't really do a lot of parks right now. Glenn's done them before in the past a lot. I've done one, maybe 2 actually in the park. No, I don't like them because you don't have as much control. I like the houses there's a million reasons why I like the properties that are real estate. They're tied to the land. One, it has a lot more demand. People, you have more control over the deal, and there's a ton of them. And like I said, when you own the land, it's just a lot more secure for the financing component. So if you're getting, like the mobile homes that are not on your land and they're just the shell or the structure, they depreciate. It's like a car. They're not going up in value because they're not tied together. But when you tie them together, we bought properties 5-6 years ago that have doubled in value. And when they're tied together, they go up and down with the real estate cycles. And so we like that a lot better. It's just a lot more secure. You get to participate in that, appreciation. And, they just make good rentals. And there's a lot of them because there's a lot of folks, there's a lot of paid off mobile homes that are on land. So that creates huge opportunities. And there's a lot of them that need rehab. They're not that old, and the folks don't have the money to rehab them. So if you can come in there and do a light, $15,000 30-day rehab, you can get huge discounts, and it's not very stressful. It's pretty simple. And investors like them too for the cash flow. So we keep them for rentals, and then we sell them to investors who, are buying them for cash flow purposes.
Right. And as the market tightens, guys, it's a great strategy because people can't live in a bush or a tree. They're going to have to, if they're going to downsize, where else are they going to go? But to a mobile home or some type of affordable housing. Let's talk about probably the biggest reason why you don't see a lot of people transition into mobile homes. It's because there isn't a traditional, easy way for the average person to learn how to analyze the value of the property. So I think that's what holds a lot of people back is when they don't have certainty. It's not like they have 20 single family comps, cookie cutter comps built by the same builder in the same subdivision. I think it's tough for people who have never bought a mobile home. They see this mobile home come up for 25 grand, but they don't know if that's good. They don't know if that's bad. Anything to relate it to. How are you guys evaluating these properties to know if it's worth striking on and closing?
Same way that you do for single family. You just pull comps in the area. There's a lot of comps. There's a huge misconception out there about like how mobile home transactions work. People think they just like buy them from the dealership new, and then all of a sudden they just like disappear or just pass down. No, they're sold on the MLS every day. And so we're pulling comps our realtors in the area, if it's an area that, you know, our license doesn't carry over to. But no, we're doing the exact same thing. We're pulling comps. We're identifying the retail demand. On the turnkey properties, they're based more on cash flow. So obviously it still does matter. But when you're using private money, you can get comps from the MLS, but you can also just identify what the rents are. Same way you identify rents anywhere. You know, there's public information about what they're renting from, MLS. And then you work backwards from what you can acquire it from. And it's really no different than single family. That's a misconception. We just do the exact same thing you would do. You just have to go a little further out. So instead of just a couple blocks or a quarter mile, you're going a mile or 2 miles. But remember, once again, it's subdivisions. Most of them are in subdivisions. So it's the same thing. It's just mobile home subdivisions instead of single family. You just make a lot more money.
Right. Most people would think that they're just on MLS like that. Now, when you're looking at a property, are you only buying properties? And do you think, because this is a big thing a lot of people want to do, is they're like, well, I'll get this cheap piece of land and I'll move this free Craigslist mobile home out there. But they don't understand it's a lot more difficult to set that up. So you're buying only properties that are good to go as is. They've already been moved up, set with septic, have electric running to it. Or are you guys looking at, you know, buying land and then moving a bunch of mobile homes to it?
No, please, people, don't do that. I mean, here's the deal. Between Glenn and I, we've done all of these and they all work. It's like, you only have so much time on the planet. So you have to, you know, do what's working the best for your time. For us, we can just gobble up these houses that are already ready to go, do a quick rehab, and then keep them or sell them. So why would we do anything else? Can you do that and make money? Sure. I remember Glenn telling me a story when he owned like 15 Clayton dealerships before he went on his own. He had people call him all the time who were getting a new house and they wanted to do something with their old house. And so they would ask him if he would pick it up. They would give him the house for free. He told me that he took many, many homes to the dump and they were great houses that you could rehab and live in. Okay. So one time he got a house for free. This is like a personal property story. He got the house for free, paid $5,000 to move it, and then took it to his friend like area, you know, guy in the area that he knew, owned like a mobile home park, and he worked out a deal with him so he could put it on the mobile home park. Like you said, the terms, can you rent it out? Can you owner finance it and all that business? So he had it moved for $5,000, rehabbed it for $5,000. So he's all in 10. And I think seller financed it for 19.9, you know, on terms, and, you know, did really well. So can you do that? Yes. Are we doing that? No. Buying them new, that's not happening. Guys, we're looking for a discount. Okay. You're not going to get a big discount by paying retail. Look, you can go and do mobile home subdivisions. Do people make money doing them? Yeah. I tried to do one actually on the outskirts of Denton County. I went through the county. I went through the planning commission. I invested about 9 months going through this process. It's just like it is for the single family stuff. You can do it, but it's just a lot more headache. You have to put in, you know, these places are getting wise and they want you to put in really expensive roads. And, you know, by the time you put in all the utilities, all the roads, you do everything, it's 2 years to actually clear through the whole thing. That's a lot of market risk in that time. No. Why would you do that when you could go on the MLS, gobble up a mobile home for $30,000, put 15 in, you're all in 45, and then sell it 70 FHA financing? What, in 60 days total? Why? Just do that.
And also, just like people don't understand what they're getting into, and they think, oh, well, I'm going to move it for $5,000, but they don't understand there's a lot more costs once they get out there. Plus, there's doing it. And so it's definitely, plus sometimes they're moving them into areas where they're not even allowed to move a mobile home. It's not even zoned correctly. So I think it's just an incredible distraction that a lot of people are trying to do that. So,
okay. I didn't even know about that, honestly.
Yeah, focus on staying in and buying them already on land. So let's talk about how to find these. What's a couple of good strategies for these young investors if they want to start buying mobile homes? How do they gobble them up?
I'm about to tell you 4 that you've never heard on your show. What episode is this? 5,000? Did we get a cake?
No, not you. No.
Yeah, not me. Hey, yeah, I'm going to break. Here's some breaking news, guys. So write this down. You've never heard these before. This is cutting edge stuff, but that's what we bring to the show. MLS, HUD, networking, bandit signs. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my God.
That's all you got to do, dude. It's not that hard. People think this is rocket science. Yeah, right. When all these single family investors are doing all this direct mail and they get a mobile home lead, you know what we call that? Throwaway lead. They don't know what they're doing. They don't want that. You just go to the networking club, say you're the mobile home expert. You went through our course if you want to, or you can figure it out on your own. I don't know. Do you want it to take a year or 37? You pick. But the bottom line is use the same strategies that you would use to get a regular house, but it's way easier because not as many people are competing for them. You know, we flipped the game. We've crushed the code. Crushing the code or whatever isn't even a strong enough word. But like, here's the bottom line. When you go to buy a single family house, there's 15 other people in line who just got back from a seminar that want to buy it too. And they want to pay more and they don't know what they're doing. Okay. When we go buy them, they're like, hallelujah, thank God you got here. Okay. We're the only ones. Then when we're selling them, turnkey, we got 15 investors that all want to buy it for the cash flow. So it's like, do you want to compete against 15 people when you're buying these things? Or do you want to have 15 people begging to buy your finished product and you can make a great profit? I mean, that's how different it is. So it's not revolutionary. I'll give you the best one, the one to start for your audience. And then if they want to learn more, we'll give them some links down below where they can continue the journey. But the bottom line is that realtor, it's real simple, guys. Here's what you do. Go to your market. So whatever city you live in. Cleveland, they get a lot of bad press. Let's pump it up for Cleveland. Yay, Cleveland. I'm going there on vacation. So you go to Cleveland, you draw a map of 60-minute drive. You go on the MLS, you find the mobile homes, the listing agent, you call them. Ding, ding, ding. You say, hey, I buy mobile homes too. This house that's beat up, instead of spending all your wheels listing it and taking pictures and showing it to people, next time just call me and then I'll buy it from you. Here's my criteria, build the relationship. We teach people how to do all that stuff to make it, quick and easy.
Right. I mean, I think it's Einstein. I forget who said it. Says life is easy, people make it difficult. And
that was your uncle, right?
Yep.
I knew it.
Yeah. No, so what a lot of people try to do that, you've seen this all the time, is they try to make things overly difficult and they think they want to get the wheel. Especially, I remember you did that a long time ago. You're like, I'm going to create these new strategies. Everybody wants to do that. I did that. Everybody wants to do it when they come into business. Guys, just do what people have been doing for years that works and just go out there and do it, because they can't get the entire marketplace. They can't take over the entire marketplace.
No.
Let's talk about financing these things on the front end and then back end on how you're exiting them. I know you're doing turnkey strategies to investors. You also talked about flipping them to an FHA buyer. So let's look at, you come across a great one,
right?
Agent deal. How's the front end process looking on the acquisition? Are you raising money from people's IRAs? Are you using your own cash? How are you funding them? Because that's a big hurdle for a lot of people getting in. And then let's talk about how you exit the strategy.
Yeah, no problem. Great. So, so we'll start with private money, because obviously, or just money, because you need money to take down the deals. And then we'll segue into what our exit strategies are. And we'll hit as many as we can for the time that we have. So for the actual deals, if you have cash, these price points are low. So you can just take them down with your own cash, line of credit, whatever you want to do. I mean, our situation is a little different because between, Glenn and I, we have a lot of people who want to give us money, but that's because we've done a lot of deals. So they trust us and we know what we're doing. So we teach people, our students, how to raise private money. Obviously you can start with friends and family, IRA, a lot of IRA money out there, but you have to know what you're doing. You can't just go up to people and ask for money. But the answer to your question, all of the above. But for right now, we have more money than we have deals. So that's it. It's just private investors who want to lend us money on these deals. Some of them want to stay in long-term and do a longer lending deal. Some of them just, transactional. But honestly, we don't have to flip FHA because we can flip turnkey and it's better. But that's another level. There's levels to this game. It's wholesale. It's fix and flip, right? It's some rentals for you. It's turnkey, so it's like you got to kind of go with the levels. But we're getting private money for our deals, our exit strategies. We teach people how to wholesale and fix and flip, but we don't do that very much at all because we don't need to. We have a line of people that want to buy our properties to rehab. So that's a turnkey buyer. The investor funds, the whole deal. We get paid for our work. We rehab it, get it to them, and then we property manage it for them. Okay, so we do the turnkey. And then if it's not a turnkey, then it's just a rental that we keep. And that's just, we take our profits. We've built a scalable business to where we have extra money. Then we can just put our money into it. So that's what we're doing right now. But we teach people all of the exit strategies, how to see if it works in your area. We lay out the roadmap.
All right, so clarify turnkey for people because these words we throw around that are common in our business, when people are just now hopping into listening to podcasts like this, they may not understand what that means.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah. So turnkey is when somebody puts the key in the little slot, they turn it, and boom, that's it. They're making money. So what does that mean? The investor, when an investor, it's ready to go. It's not DIY. Like what we're doing, do it yourself, or, you know, our team do it, right? We're finding them. We're rehabbing them. We're putting the renter in them, and then we're making sure they're performing. Okay. That's all. That stuff is a lot of skills and knowledge and work for somebody, right? So a turnkey is you do all those things for somebody else and they pay you to do that.
Right.
It's just ready to go, and they're still getting their money. So they're more than happy to share a little bit because they got something else going on. These are people who are like dentists, doctors, attorneys, lots of different jobs, you know, and they just want, they have to park their money somewhere to get a return. And they're scared of the stock market. You know, we have a lot of people contact us to lend us money, and we, you know, we screen people pretty carefully, but we give people, we put deals together with our lenders and give people great rates of return on their money. So there's people who buy houses ready to go that are performing from us. There's people who just lend us money and then we use it for our investment strategies. And then there's, you know, properties that we keep. And then there's people who just want to learn how to do this active, and we teach them how to do it. And the other thing I want to mention here, Connor, be real specific, is like, we were real hesitant to teach people all of this stuff because there's nobody else really teaching it. And a lot of times in the teaching space, it's a lot of like, you do deals, I do deals. I had a closing today. You have closings. But a lot of these people who are teaching, they maybe haven't done a deal in 10 years or they've never done them. You know, like me and Glenn, like we're doing 10 deals a month. And so like, we were like, well, why would we share this with anybody? Why would we share all these secrets? Because we're just going to create more competition for ourselves and we're crushing it. So why would we just not keep it to ourselves? And it's really two reasons. One is legacy. You know, Glenn got 37 years of experience in mobile homes. I've done 100 deals in single family, and I'm advocating for people to take a strong look at this because I like it way better. And it's a proven advantage for me and my, you know, bank account. And then the other reason is because, you know, we can't buy, Glenn and I together can't buy all 10 million of the mobile homes that are in America. So it's like, there's plenty for everybody. So that's kind of how it all happened. And I think it's important people can, you know, understand that this isn't hocus pocus, and we're not talking about stuff that's theory. It's proven. It's not fiction. We're doing it every day. And that's a big difference.
So you mentioned something that you could sell them on back end to an FHA buyer.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people wouldn't think that you could finance a mobile home. Are they doing anything? Let's look at financing requirements.
Okay.
What are their restrictions? How do they look at them? Is there an age cutoff? Are they have to be newer? Kind of give it an idea of how it looked to sell to a finance buyer like that. Because I think a lot of people, if they knew that they could have multiple exit strategies and knew that they could find these buyers, they'd be more likely to close on them. But people are thinking they can only find someone that they can either sell it to on owner financing,
right,
or that has cash. They're not thinking they can sell it to a turnkey investor or to exit it to a finance investor or to a finance individual.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, we're not flipping a lot of the properties right now to FHA because we don't have to. We have a line of turnkey people to do that for us. So we don't have to mess with, because there's still headaches when you sell, right? I mean, you got to go through there's an appraisal. There's, you know, they got to qualify. I mean, there's a little bit more, but really it's not that different. I mean, here's the deal, Connor. It's like the houses that we're buying from people who've already qualified for a loan. So it's like, there's nothing, right? Like, so the structure already approves, you know, if it's HUD home, that's a FHA foreclosure. So that the structure and the land is good to go if it's any of those. We focus on 1990 and newer. That's when the standards really changed. We wouldn't advise anybody, for the amount of time that we have here, to go into all these details. We wouldn't really advise somebody brand new. Get educated however you want to do that. But 1990 and newer is what we focus on. We can still buy some properties that are older than that. We can still get financing for them. Sometimes you just have to bring them up a little bit. But there are so many that are 1990 and newer. Just get those. Make sure that they don't change that much. You know, it's just, we're doing cosmetic rehabs. And then, you know, you can get, homeowners can come in and get the FHA financing. It's really not that complicated. The government, and it's only going to get better. Here's the deal, Connor, that we haven't even touched on. It's the biggest deal. I'll ask you, you're a pretty smart guy. You got a show. Okay. So here's the deal, Connor. Is the demand, access your crystal ball. Is the demand for affordable housing in the next 10 years, in your opinion, going to grow or get smaller? What do you think?
It's going to grow, of course.
Why, of course?
Because they're not creating any more land. The population is growing, and the job market isn't there. People are no longer trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they're moving out of these big giant houses. We're seeing I mean, think about the tiny homes. People are even transitioning down to even tiny homes now. People are realizing they'd rather have more money in their bank account to spend on vacations and better lifestyle for their children than sticking in a giant house that they don't use that much anymore. So a lot of people are downsizing, and they're living in more affordable ways and spending their money that they have saved on a better lifestyle that they can enjoy day in, day out.
We have people who have 6-figure incomes that purchase or rent properties from us. Because when you have a 6-figure income and you go to a mobile home and it's in nature and it's out of the rat race and it has all the benefits and it looks the same on the inside, has everything, the exact same things that a single family house has, it just doesn't have the brick, okay, but it has everything else. And when you buy in half price houses, all of a sudden you have way more money to actually invest, to actually do stuff with, to go on vacation. So it's not just like good for investors, it's good to live in. I already told my wife, I said, hey, the next place we're going to is a mobile home. And she's on board, and we got a big family. That's the problem with these tiny homes. This stuff is a fad. It's all going to disappear, and anybody can get on the show and ask me about it, and I don't care. Tiny homes are great for like 2 millennials that are just in love, and they're living in one room. That stuff's garbage, man. No family's going to live in a one-room tiny home. These mobile homes are not tiny. See, that's what people miss. They don't know the misconceptions. I'm here to get you straight, okay? And if I ruffle a few feathers, that's the way it is. We don't want to waste time. Your viewers need to know what's really going on. The mobile homes we're doing, guys, they got 2,000 square feet and bigger. Did you know they have 2- and 3-story mobile homes? 3,000 square feet plus. They've got all that. So it's like we're doing 1,800 square foot mobile homes, open floor plans. It's the same size as a regular house. It's just a lot cheaper and way better.
I mean, we've had multiple requests for me to film videos on tiny homes for investment.
Oh my gosh. It's all hype, man. It's all hype. It's all skinny jeans hype.
If you guys are waiting for those tiny home videos, you're going to wait a long time. One last thing, then we'll dig in, talk about what you're doing as far as educating people on this strategy. Because
sure.
I think people, guys, we can only go over so much in a 1-hour podcast.
We can't go over everything.
To kind of get your thought process in the right direction. Single wide versus double wide. Are you? Mm-hmm. Do you think people should stay away from single wide mobile homes? Do you think do you think there's any big differences between the two? Or they
Yes, one of them's twice as big. I know. I was a math teacher. I really bring it.
outside the obnoxiousness from Max Money here, let's talk about just the differences, because a lot of people think this is a real thing. Should I focus on double wide or single wide, or are they very similar to where it doesn't matter? You're looking at numbers, and the numbers are a spread that matters.
Yeah, there's more demand. I think there's more demand for double, but there is demand for both. There are people, smaller families, single wide. They're not obviously as big. So it's smaller families. There's demand for both. Singles are usually, of course, more affordable. So I would say that either one could be great. Most of the properties that we're buying, just because there's a certain mix out there in the universe, are double. Because with the double, you're going to get that 1,300 to 1,800 square feet, which is just like a single family, home, the 322 kind of deal. So that's on your double wide. I think for somebody just starting out, I don't have enough information to give them like a clear guidance. I would just say, because it depends on their goals, their strategies, but both are fine. Just doubles are a little more prevalent, and it's just the same thing. Like when you and I have done a lot of single family properties, I've flipped some 2-1-1s. Have you done some of those on the single family, the 2-bedroom single families?
Not so many. I try to stay 3-2 and up, but we've done, up in Denison, we've done frame houses, and usually we're not keeping those, we'll owner finance them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did some real nice brick ones in Arlington, and they were 2-bedroom, 1-baths, brick, single family. And that's kind of like the single wide. We had great demand. It's just not as many people because it's a little smaller. So the double is kind of the best of both worlds.
Like if your guys are going to look at like 2-1s and 3-1s, it's okay if lots of those are in the marketplace. Now, if you're in a neighborhood where it's all 3-2s and then there's like 1-2-1, you may have a little difficulty getting that one moved. Okay, let's talk about how they can work with you, Max, and let's talk about, first of all, where we can send them to your social media, and then we'll talk in detail here real quick about what you guys are doing. So Glenn Stromberg, guys, we have another podcast on our Investor Army podcast channel, our other channel, that got quite a bit of views from last year. So Max and Glenn have partnered together, 2 industry leaders, to create a course, mobile vested, right? This is one of the first ones I've seen of its kind, something that's created literally like a college type of training situation. You guys got to realize Max was a teacher for how long were you a teacher? 10 years?
You know, 7 years, teacher of the year, you know, master's degree in education. We're bringing the whole thing together, you know, because here's the deal, Connor, and you know this firsthand. There's a lot of people listening to the show. They found somebody in the marketplace. They're trying to get some mentorship. And these people are like really successful investors, but they have no patience and don't know how to teach very well. You know, there's a difference. Then there's people who know how to teach, but they don't know anything. So, you know, that's not going to work either. So what's kind of cool about the whole deal is that why it's working really well. And we already have students and they're doing really well. The reason is because like we know what we're doing. I've done probably maybe more single family than Glenn. So I know kind of the pains and the struggles there. So I'm helping people transition from that mindset to the mobile, what skills they can carry over and then which ones are new. And then Glenn's done everything in mobile home investing, you know, and I've done it too. And so, yeah, we've created a curriculum. It's not just like stuff that we're slinging on the wall. We break it down. We have a course that we created. It's 38 videos. It's 7 hours of content. We have a checklist for each chapter. We have a quick start guide. It's affordable. We have a money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, that's, you know, we'll give you your money back, but we know it's awesome. And there's no, guys, I want you to understand what's happening here. Okay. Every single lever in real estate is moving to where mobile homes is an advantage. Okay. The single family homes are getting very expensive. So it's harder to get financing. There's more people who want to buy them. The corporations, the iBuyers, the Zillows, all these people are coming in and paying big bucks for these single family homes. So you got almost no margin. The construction, the permitting, you know, there's 3 times more people flipping homes than there was at the end of the crash. But the permitting offices at these in these cities, they haven't added any more people. So they're jacking up the permit prices. It's taking longer. The whole process, like every lever is going in the wrong direction on single family at the exact same. So, but like for mobile homes, it's totally different. Like there's not as much competition. They're a lot lower. So we're just teaching people how to do that. They can engage with us and here's how they can do it. They can get free information on our website. They can watch our videos. We have free videos, free content, mobilevested.com. We'll put the links down below. Okay. We've got a new book that's coming out. And so for just a limited time only, we're going to offer this book free. We'll send it to you. Okay. And we'll put the link down below. So just take advantage of that. It's a free book. We're going to sell it on Amazon. It's going to do really well. But for a limited time, we're going to give it to people for free. So you can read and digest this content. You can watch our videos, engage with us on social media, and then just take it as far as you want to go. Whatever your option is, whether it's just you want to figure it out on your own, or if you want to study it, or if you want somebody to guide you by the hand, great. And then lastly, Connor, for our few people, okay, very selective, but we're only going to do this for a limited time, and we're only working with people that we choose to work with. But for people who are really motivated, they already have some experience, we have an option where they come and see Glenn and us in Fort Worth. We show them everything we're doing, the business side, and then they can duplicate our efforts and be in multiple states and grow it as big as they want. So it's really like a choose your own adventure, and we're here to serve. Our goal is to serve and change the lives for new and existing mobile home investors, and we're trying to reach 10,000 people.
I like it. So guys, below this video, we're going to have some links. Do I get a special link to give them a discount, or do I have to take a discount out myself? How's that going to
No, absolutely. Yeah. So here's what we're offering for everybody who's watching this podcast. Now, like you need to click now, not like in 10 years, but if you take action, you're willing to engage, the first thing that we're offering for a limited time is the free book. We'll ship it to your house. That's number one. And then for everybody on, Connor's deal, we're going to put a little discount code down below, and you just type in the code. And then if there's anything that you want to purchase or explore, then you're going to get a discount for your lucky members who have found you. And they are lucky because you definitely help a lot of people. So I appreciate what you're doing out there.
Well, thank you, Max. Appreciate that. So guys, you buy houses at discount. Why not buy your courses at discount, buy your information as well? Max has been around for a long time in our marketplace, done an incredible job in his own business, his own career. His track record's out there proven. So guys, check out those links below. You want to leave any last words of advice, wisdom, anything you want to just share as an exiting out the door for our audience?
Mobile homes are the best kept secret in real estate investing, and there's not that many secrets left. And so, everything has a window, and the window for single family is closing. Okay, that's just the bottom line. The apartments, that already closed. Okay, I mean, you can do deals in both of those, but the huge deals where there's no competition, nobody's doing it. So other than like self-storage and a few other things and some niche stuff, like mobile homes, like I would say get in now because, everything changes over time and the best opportunities are limited by far. The timing is key and the timing is everything right now. So yeah, I would just say, take a look at it, decide if it's for you, make the decision yourself. And then if you decide that's where you want to go all in. And the great news is that Glenn and I, you don't have to figure it out on your own. You can learn from 40 years of experience and save a lot of time. And we're just looking forward to seeing you, whether it's at a live event, whether it's in Fort Worth or online. We're normal people. We do deals and we like to help people. And so we're looking forward to, meeting you and helping you figure out how to get half price homes and double cash flow and build your passive income journey on steroids.
I like it. All right, Max, appreciate you coming. Grateful for everything you're doing for everybody. And guys, we will see you when we see you on the next episode. Have a great day.